go. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday night wine stream and another exciting adventure on Drink with Rick. I'm Rick, and tonight we are going to open a Salmon Creek wine. This is another one. We've done this before with a Pinot, and we're going to try this with a Cab and see if we get very similar results. This should be interesting to try. And of course, this is a wine that's under $6, and that's what I'm trying to do here, is trying to pick wines that are a little bit more on the lower end and see which ones are best for us to try out during this time. It's tough to afford a lot of the finer things in life right now, and trying to pick things on the lower end that we can still enjoy, that are very inexpensive, that we can still enjoy for the most part. And that's what we're going to do tonight. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome to Drink with Rick. And I am Rick, of course. And this is a show that is about wine. It is about tasting wine and recommending wine from an everyman. I'm not a sommelier. I'm just an everyman who likes to drink wine, as about 99% of the American public is. And probably 99% of everyone around the world watching this. And if you're watching this from around the world, also welcome. We're not all, sommeliers. We're not all professionals. And we do like our wines as well. So, I like to pick out wines that we all like to drink, or a lot of us like to drink, and review it from that point of view, rather than from the point of view of a quote-unquote wine snob. And I don't mean that in a very derogatory way, don't get me wrong. It's just a term, a figure of speech. This is, of course, live tonight on Facebook, on our Facebook page at Drink with Rick. So if you want to watch, join in the chat. Feel free to join the chat. I'll give you a shout out. Drink with Rick on the Facebook page at Drink with Rick. You can also watch us on YouTube at Drink with Rick. And chat with me there too, because I've got that chat open as well. Also on Twitch. We are live on Twitch. So if you like to hang out on Twitch, please do so. Please join in the chat. We're Drink with Rick 1. That's Drink with Rick 1 on Twitch. And also on Twitter. If you like to just stick around on Twitter, you can watch this live on Twitter, on the Twitter stream at Drink with Rick. Of course, we also release this as a podcast. The podcast goes out on Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, every Monday night at exactly 10 p.m. Eastern. So you can listen after the fact. You can listen whenever you want to at your leisure. And you can do that at www.drinkwithrick.com. That's our website. As well as you can listen to it on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Blueberry.com and a lot of other places out there on the web. Also on your favorite Android or iOS app. And you can also listen to it on your smartphone, or smart speaker, You can listen to it on your smart speaker. I just say the wake word. I'm not going to say it just in case you have one there. But, but say, hey, insert smart speaker name here, play the Drink with Rick podcast or Drink with Rick podcast, and it should be able to find that. So you can hear me everywhere. You can see me pretty much everywhere. Hopefully you're not sick of my voice or my face by now, but I'm glad to be a part of your time and your day or evening wherever you are. And, of course, you can email me. If you want to email me for any reason, you can reach me at rick@savoyamedia.com. That's rick at SAVOIAMEDIA.com. And you can reach me there. And, of course, on our website at drinkwithrick.com. Now, if you're watching this live on Drink with Rick, we don't have a chat going there, but we do have, if you click on the page for that episode, we have a comment section down there, and you can feel free to comment, and I will respond in kind. So please do so. And let's see who we have in the chat so far. Jim's in the chat with us. Jim, great to see you. Happy to see you here. And Jim says, love it. Oh, thanks. I appreciate your being here. I really do. Please stick around. We're going to open up this bottle of wine. We're going to taste it. We're going to pair it with some foods. Tonight, with the food that I'm going to pair it with, my lovely wife has made a nice little selection of foods. Let's see if we can get a closer shot of this. This is, she has some ziti and a slice of pizza. And we have something she made with the chili tonight. This was some cheese there. And we have so a couple of cheeses. We have a Gouda cheese, my favorite Trader Joe's Gouda cheese, which we were out of for quite a while, but we have some now. We're going to try it with this tonight. We also have, I think this is a cheddar. I think it's a white cheddar. It might be also from Trader Joe's, a white cheddar and Gruyere combo. I think that's what it is. And we have some burger, some hamburger. Because Cabernets are supposed to go pretty well with any meats, and hopefully it'll go good with this one. We're going to give it a try and see how it pairs with the meats. Now, we also, just to let you know, we also are doing a weekly sort of a tutorial on the different grapes. And of course, in the past, we've covered the Merlot grape, and we've covered the Pinotage, and we've covered the Malbec. This week, we are going to do a little bit of a tutorial on the Cabernet Sauvignon grape. So please stick around. Learn something. I've learned a lot about the Cabernet grape. Stick around. We're going to have a little bit of maybe a little listen about the Cabernet Sauvignon grape. If you want to learn more about the grapes and how they're produced, please, we'll learn some of that tonight. So this should be exciting. So without any further ado, let me check the other chats as well first before I go any farther. Let's see, nothing going on YouTube right now, although we are going strong on YouTube. And Swazina Torn says she's joined us in the chat on Twitch. And Swazina Torn, I'm glad to see you here. Thanks for joining me. Stick around and tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what you'd like to be drinking. Tell me what you'd like to see me drinking. And I'll see if it's a reasonably priced. I'll see if I can get a hold of the bottle and taste it and review it and try it out. Swazina Torrance says, I'm locked in the basement. Send food. And also water. Yeah, locked in the basement. Send food. Diet water. Yeah, you know, I tell you what, these are some tough times for all of us. I really feel you there. We're in on this too. We're in the middle of it, just like everyone else. And we're having to tighten our belt too. And my belt is already pretty tight, but I tell you that we're all having to tighten our belt a bit with all of this sequestering and this pandemic and everything else. And I think just about everybody's going stir crazy at this point. So. Yeah, you know, it's been tough. It's been tough on everyone. I tell you what, there are some people who are in really, really dire straits and could really use help. And I don't know. You know, I kind of feel helpless in that regard myself because we're kind of, you know, we're kind of feeling the pinch too. So hopefully we'll all get through this together very, very soon, and we can all get back out on the other side, and it should be okay. We have to keep the faith, right? Keep the faith. Swazina Nation says, tough times. Yes, very, very much so. Very much so for all of us. So let's see what we got here for the Salmon Creek. This is the wine that we're drinking tonight. This is a Salmon Creek 2016 California Cabernet. Now, this is a wine that I tried. Once again, I tried the Pinot Noir version of this wine a few weeks back, and we reviewed it several weeks back on the Wine Stream, and I rather liked it. I was surprised. I was surprised at how good it was. So I purchased the Cab version just to see if maybe we could go 2 for 2 on this one, and we'll see how it works. This is... I looked around on the net, and there are a few places that carry it, but they run between $5 and $9 a bottle. I saw it on, let's see, I think I was pricing this out. Vivino doesn't have, they priced it out $5.99, which is pretty close to what I paid for it. I'll tell you what I got this wine for was $5.95, and I picked it up at Winestore in Blakeney, where I love to go, at winestore-online.com for $5.95, so it's not too bad. This is the back end. I'm going to read the back side for you. Let's see. This is Salmon Creek. Salmon Creek Cellars produces wines for the most discriminating diner. Sounds good so far. Our handcrafted wines come from California's finest vineyards and are made exclusively for restaurants and hotels throughout the world where wines of this quality are expected. We hope to have made your dining experience a little more enjoyable. Bon appetit! And this is cellared and bottled by Salmon Creek Cellars in Sonoma, California. This is a California wine, by the way. It is a 750 milliliter bottle. There is, let's see, what's the alcohol content in this thing? Does it say? Yes, on the front it says alcohol 12.5% by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle. So we're going to try this out. We're going to open it up right now. And of course, I have my trusty foil cutter to open it up with. Although there's a little tab here on the side. Maybe we can try the little tab. Look at that. Let me get a closer shot of this. Got a little tab on the side. I'm going to open it up with that. So there you go. Anything that makes my job easier, right? And to pop open the cork, we have, of course, my trusty mechanical uncorker. My trusty mechanical corkscrew. And hopefully this one won't be too rough on it. Because, there we go. Well, that was fairly easy. It's kind of tough in this position when you're sitting down. It really should be done when you're standing up, but I've done already. I have actually broken the neck of a bottle, one bottle of wine, and I think it was, I can't remember what it was. You know what? I think it was a Biltmore. It was a Biltmore white wine. I think is what I broke it on. I think. That was during, I think, the holidays. We had some for Thanksgiving, and it just kind of cracked as soon as I got it around the bottle. I think that it was already damaged, and it just kind of damaged it more. Let's see, and of course, I have my trusty Veneto aerator from the Veneto Wine Lover set, and you can actually purchase these if you go to drinkwithrick.com. I have a link up there or a banner up there where you can actually purchase them still. I'm not getting anything for it, to be honest with you, but not right now. But you can go ahead and purchase one if you want. And of course, to pour it, we have the glass to pour it in. This is my wonderful, wonderful Galway Genuine Irish Crystal glass that was given to me as a gift by my employers a couple of years ago. It's a really fine glass. And we're going to pour a little bit of this in here. A little ASMR for those who are really into ASMR videos. And we'll swirl it around a little bit and let it breathe a little bit. And while we're breathing, let me see if I can find out a little more. To be honest, I really didn't pull down a text sheet on this one this time. And I don't know that there was really one available for me to pull down. So, because I haven't found this, I found it listed online a few places, not that many, but a few. So it was somewhat limited. So I really don't know what to expect from this wine, to be honest. I really don't know what to expect. We're going to find out. And let's see, did I just lose audio here? I may have lost, did I lose audio? May have lost it. Can you guys hear me okay? Chi, my lovely wife Chi's in the chat. Can you all hear me okay? Because I'm not getting any audio at the moment. There we go. It must be my connection. Must be my connection from here. So we have audio. Good. More or less. Okay. That's my connection, not yours, I suppose. Anyway, so we have the wine, and we're going to taste it now. Any other comments in the chat before we start? Anything going? Swazi Nation says pretty nice, and yeah, I really think we lucked out on that Pinot Noir last time, so I really have high hopes for this one. I never tried this one before. I have high hopes for it. Anything else going on? Nothing much on Twitter. So we're good there. I'm just giving this a chance to breathe a little bit before we start drinking it. So we'll see. We'll see how it tastes. Now, right off the bat, I'm getting some black cherry. Maybe a hint of raspberry in there, and smells a little oaky. Not too surprising. It smells a little oaky. Let's give it a taste. Interesting. The black cherry, I could smell the black cherry, but I'm not really tasting the black cherry too much. Little hint of plum, I think, and a bit of tobacco, I think. But it's kind of oaky, and it seems like a very light finish. Okay, a little bit more in there. And getting cherry now. Getting cherry and a little bit of raspberry. This is a kind of a creamy wine. It's kind of a very, very velvety, I think. I think, you know what, this is a 2016, so I'm not expecting this to taste real harsh. I mean, this is a wine that's basically 4 years old now. And for a wine of this, I don't want to say caliber, I'd say of this price range, to be that velvety, I think. Yeah, it's a little bit on the velvety side. How about that? Looks like it's aged a bit in this bottle, which is not a bad thing. It's actually, I think it's aged pretty well, as a matter of fact. I think it has. It does not have a strong finish, and it's not real tannic. It's kind of medium tannins, but it's dry. It's dry, but not real tannic, and it's sort of the acidity, I think, is also kind of medium. Actually, I think it tastes a little softer than that. Yeah, I think it's a little bit softer than that. I'll tell you what, it's not exactly what I expected, especially from a cab. But the cab that's been in the bottle for it's 4 years old pretty much. I think it's aging fairly well. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'm surprised. This is one of those bottles that have the flat bottles on them, so they didn't put a whole lot of money into the bottle. Lots of times when you see the very expensive bottles and the more expensive wines, they have the dip there in the center, and it usually signifies that it's meant for being stored for a longer term. This one's actually seems to be aging very well. And they're light notes. They're light. I mean, the black cherry that I was smelling in the cherry and things like that, it's very light. It seems like it's blended fairly well. I don't know if this is 100% cab. I really don't. It may or it may not be. There may be something else in there besides the cab. I don't know for sure. Doesn't say. It just says cab. And we know that from experience, from history, that you can have a Cabernet on the label that's not 100% cab. It can be mixed with a couple of other things. But it's not bad. It's not bad. We're going to pair with some foods here in just a minute. Let me check the chat again. My lovely wife, she is having a conversation there. And with Jim. And it's good to see you both there. And let's see, who else is, anybody else going, nope, that's kind of it right there on Facebook. And nothing going on there, but Twitch, we have some activity on Twitch. Swazi Torn says, yes, sir. What are you drinking, Swazi Torn? Are you having a wine too? What kind of wine are you drinking? What do you prefer, as a matter of fact? Do you prefer reds, whites, rosés? You like a lighter wine, a sweeter wine, a drier wine? What do you like to drink? That's what I like to know. I'd like to know what you all like to drink and what you prefer. I know what. Now, we've had some very interesting conversations in the chat in the past with folks who prefer whites over red, and it kind of surprised me because I kind of thought I was under the impression that a lot of the ladies like the whites and a lot of the men like the reds, and it turns out that's not necessarily the case. A lot of the men oftentimes will prefer the whites, and a lot of the ladies will prefer the reds. And my sister, I think both of my sisters prefer red wines, and my brother-in-law prefers a white. Which is interesting, and that's not a bad thing. It's whatever your preference is. That's not a bad thing. It's just that I was a little bit, I guess it's just sort of and I don't want to sound sexist or anything. It's just that, the old traditional blue for, baby blue for the boy and pink for the girl. And oftentimes it's the boys who prefer the pink and the girls who prefer the blue or the darker colors and more subdued colors. So, it's just, it's whatever you prefer, right? That's what it's all about. Let's try it with the burger. We're going to try it with a little bit of the hamburger here. Now cabs typically go well with really any kind of grilled meat. It could be anything fancy. It could be like a filet mignon. It could be a porterhouse. It could be a big T-bone steak or sirloin or something like that off the grill, or it could be just a regular burger. It should go well with any of those meats. So if you're looking to have a nice evening, or as nice an evening as you can, kind of cooped up at home, and you want to, have a special occasion, get a bottle of wine, say a good cab, and maybe grill some burgers, and you'll still have a really, really nice meal. Let's see. Let's try. The burger's been sitting out a little bit, so it's a little dry. It's a decent burger, though. Good burger. And, yeah, it is a little dry. Oh, yeah. This cab brings out, it really does accentuate the smokiness of the grilled meat, the flavor, the grilled aspect. As opposed to maybe fried or something like that. I don't know if this would be great with some fried foods. I think this goes better with something grilled. Good. Yes, it does. It works very well. No, as a matter of fact, I think this would go well with some grilled veggies too. If you like to grill vegetables, like my wife does, she will grill asparagus along with it. She'll have the asparagus on the grill and some grilled onions, and I think that would work well with this. It would complement. I think the wine would complement that as well, as long as it was like a grilled kind of vegetable. Let's try it a little bit with the pasta. Now the pasta, if it's a meat pasta, it should be okay. If it's a white creamy kind of pasta sauce, I don't know if I would go with the cab. I would stick with maybe a white Pinot or something like that. Maybe something on the white side, and maybe just a little bit sweeter. Let's see. Let's try it with the ziti though. The ziti might be all right. We'll try it with a little bit of ziti. And this ziti's good, by the way. It's okay with ziti. It's okay with. I would say that the ziti, I would probably say go with the Pinot Noir or Merlot or something a little bit heavier on the tannins than this. Maybe the Merlot or something. But not bad. It's okay. Merlot or a Chianti or something like that, I think would be fine. Now, she does have a little pizza here. Now, this might not be okay with the pizza because the cheese mix, the hamburger, this has ground beef in it. Whoops. This has ground beef and cheese, so we're going to give that a try and see what it does. Might not be too bad. Once again, okay. Not bad. It's okay. I think this would be all right with pizza. Let me try it again. Now, this is heavy on the burger. I don't know that it would go good with pepperoni on the pizza, but if it's a cheese, try. Better the second time around. Yeah, not bad. going to try it with, I'll tell you what, let's try it with. I'm going to pull out to water shot here. Let's try it with the Trader Joe's Creamy Gouda. This is a Trader Joe's Creamy Gouda, purchased from Trader Joe's. And this has traditionally gone really well with every wine we tried. We have not had a wine that we tried with this cheese that missed the mark. We're going to try a little bit of that now. I'll pour a little more wine. This Creamy Gouda is creamy. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, I like that very much. Go ahead, let's try some more of that. Got to do a second round of that. The thing is about this Creamy Gouda, it is creamy. And this wine here happens to be a little on the velvety side as well. So, very interesting. Oh yeah, we have another winner, folks. We have another winner with the Creamy Gouda and the Salmon Creek Cabernet. I'm going to pour just a little bit more of this, and we're going to try it with this cheddar. Now, the thing is about this cheddar, I don't know if it's a really sharp cheddar or medium cheddar. If it's a medium cheddar, it should be fine. Sharp, I don't know. We'll try. And this is a cheddar Gruyere mix. So that should be interesting. It's okay. It's okay. It's good. I think Gruyere gives it a little bit of a, gives that cheddar a little bit of a bite there. I don't know, maybe it's the mix with the wine. Not bad. Not too bad. Let's go back to the chat here for just a moment before we get into the grape, learning about the grape portion of the show. Let's see, anything else going on in the chat? And Jim, how you doing? Tell me how you're doing. And it is good to hear from you. It's been a long time, I believe. Let's see, anything else going on? Nothing else going on online right now. We have some birthdays to toast, by the way, so please stick around for that. And a special anniversary, graduation as well. Let me see if there's anything going in the other chats, and I think we're good there. Okay, what do we have? Yes, let's learn a little bit about this grape. This is a Cabernet Sauvignon, and it is probably one of the most popular and famous grapes out there. Cabernet Sauvignon. Who hasn't heard of that? And it has kind of a nice romantic sound to it, right? Cabernet Sauvignon. Sounds great, doesn't it? Let's learn a little bit more about this grape. And I'm pulling some information. I'm reading some of this off Wikipedia to help me out here a little bit. And the reason is because I didn't want to spend 2 days writing something myself. So we're using this to give proper attribution, because it is I can read it off here for fair use and for proper, if I give proper attribution, and I'm doing that. This is from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, although a few of these words will be my own. So, let's learn a little bit about Cabernet. It is one of the world's most widely recognized red wine grape varieties, as I mentioned earlier, and it's grown in nearly every major wine-producing country among a diverse spectrum of climates. And I mean diverse. It's grown in most places of the world. It's a very, very popular grape. And it became internationally recognized through its prominence in Bordeaux wines. And let me pull that up for just a second. Where was I? Where's my, here it is. Lost my notes. All right. It's in a lot of Bordeaux wines. It's often blended in those kind of wines. As a matter of fact, well, I'm getting ahead of myself here, but the Cabernet Sauvignon grape originated from Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc, sorry, I misspelled that on the notes. But it originated from those grapes. Basically, it's an offspring of those two grapes, Cabernet Franc and the Sauvignon Blanc. And the name is also known as in some places as Bouschet, Bausch, Petit Cabernet, and Petit Verdure. Those are other names that it goes by. It goes by a number of other different names too, and I'm not going to go through all those, but those are some of the more prominent ones that it is known by. The grape has, when it's on the vine, the grape has a black color and a thick skin. It's a very thick skinned grape, which actually helps it with the tannins there, because that's where the tannins come out of. Is when the winemaking process begins, it actually comes from the skins of the grapes. It does create full-bodied wines with high tannins and some acidity. Now, the interesting thing is, this particular wine that I tried, the tannins were kind of medium. It was kind of a medium tannic wine. It wasn't really, really hard tannic. It was kind of medium. And I expected higher tannins in this wine. And some other cabs that I've tried have had higher tannins in them. This one really not so much. And I think one reason is because it's starting. This wine's kind of, I don't know, maybe this wine's just kind of mellowing out a little bit. Some acidity, not a lot, and that was kind of what I experienced with this wine here. Some medium acidity to it. And as I mentioned before, it is often blended into the Bordeaux wine, and it's actually one of the 6 grapes that are often blended into the Bordeaux wine. Some of the other ones being the Malbec grape and things like that. Some of these are several grapes that are used in Bordeaux wines across the world. And the thing is, a lot of these wines that you drink all the way around are often blends anyway. So don't be surprised if you find a number of different varieties of grapes in a wine that is labeled for a specific grape. And it's okay to do that as long as the prominent grape in that wine is the one that's on the label. That's the key. So we've got the blends. Let's go into the blends a little bit. As I mentioned before, it's often blended with Merlot and Cabernet Franc. That's a very popular blend for the Cabernet Sauvignon wine. And it's often grown. It's generally grown in a number of countries. It's grown in France, basically where it originated from. It's grown in Italy, in Spain, in the United Kingdom, in the Czech Republic, in Hungary, Moldova, Romania, Turkey, Ukraine, Cyprus, Greece. It's grown in Israel and Lebanon, and it's grown in many, many places in South America, and it's grown quite a bit in Australia as well. Like I said, it's a very, very popular grape worldwide. And, for many years, the origin of the Cabernet Sauvignon was not really understood. And a lot of them thought that Sauvignon was believed to be derived from the French sauvage, meaning wild. But recently, the grape was rumored to have some ancient origins. And they did I think this was one of the first grapes, one of the early grapes that they did a DNA trace on. And then they found out what the true origins were. And I think that was in 1996. The true origins of the grape was discovered in 1996 with the use of DNA typing at the UC Davis Department of Viticulture and Enology by a team led by Dr. Carol Meredith. The DNA evidence determined that Cabernet Sauvignon was the offspring of Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc, as I mentioned earlier, and was most likely a chance crossing that occurred in the 17th century. Prior to this discovery, this origin had been suspected from the similarity of the grapes' names and the fact that Cabernet Sauvignon shares similar aromas with both grapes, such as the blackcurrant and pencil box aromas of Cabernet Franc and the grassiness of the Sauvignon Blanc. In 2016, scientists at UC Davis announced that they sequenced a draft of the whole genome of the Cabernet Sauvignon grape, the first genome of a commercial wine-producing grape to be sequenced. So this was basically the first one that they did the sequencing on. And since then, they've done DNA sequencing on most, if not all, the grapes out there to trace their origins. They just started doing this, I think, to some of the other grapes fairly recently, which is very, very interesting. Now, when we were getting to where it was grown, of course, that's where it's grown around the world. Now, where it's grown in the U.S., let's see, when did it come to the U.S.? I believe it was introduced in the U.S. in, let's see if I got information on that. Let's see. It doesn't really say in particular. But in the U.S., it's grown in California and in Ohio and Texas and Virginia and Washington State. It's also grown in a couple of other states too. I kind of ran around the room on that slide to put them all in, but but I can tell you it's in Washington State, Columbia Valley, Eastern Washington. Some of the areas where they've grown them are Red Mountain, Walla Walla Valley, and parts of the Yakima Valley, AVA, near the Tri-Cities region. Like I said, it's grown in, it's grown in Oregon. There are some small quantities of the Cab grape in Oregon. It has developed a presence in Arizona, New York, and as I mentioned, Ohio and Texas and Virginia. And particularly in the Texas Hill Country and North Fork of Long Island, AVAs. Throughout the United States, Cabernet Sauvignon is made in both varietal and blended styles. Under the American system, varietal Cabernet Sauvignon can include up to 25% other grapes. And like I said, I've said that a number of times before, that is quite commonplace. You can have a cab that says Cabernet on here, and it may not be 100% Cab. Now, it might be, and this doesn't say on the label, once again. It might be 100% Cab, or it might be blended with 1, 2, maybe 3 other grapes sometimes. So sometimes you never know, but there really isn't, as long as it has 85% Cab in the bottle, I don't think they're really required to tell you, to put out on the label just what the blends are. 85% is still technically a Cab, according to what I understand. So that's some of the information on the Cabernet Sauvignon grape. I hope you learned something. I did. I learn something every time I do this. I've been learning a lot since I've started this wine stream, as a matter of fact. Any comments, any questions on the Cab grape? Maybe I can answer some of them. I still have Wikipedia up. I can look for the answers there if I can't answer them. Like I said, I'm not a sommelier. I'm an everyman. I'm learning right along with you. That's we're learning together on Drink with Rick. All right, well, that's the Cabernet Sauvignon grape. Let's go right into the birthdays, because we have a couple of birthdays to celebrate. A couple of special birthdays. Every birthday is special, isn't it? Yeah. And another reason, not an excuse, a reason to drink. The first birthday coming up is for my good friend Anna. Anna Chamberlain. She just turned 18. Our good friends, Jim and Christina, Anna and Evan, they've been, Jim and I go way, way back to when we were kids, and known him for many, 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 many years, decades. And our families have been friends for a long, long time, and we love them all very much. And it's just, we don't get to see them that often anymore, because they're down Florida, we're up here in North Carolina. But when we do, we make a point to be able to get together and have some time with them, spend some time together with them. Anyway, Anna's birthday, I remember when Anna was born. And her birthday was May 14th, May 14th, and that would be Thursday. Anyway, she's 18 years old. Happy birthday to you, Anna. Happy, happy birthday. And I'll toast you again just because I can. And because you're that special to all of us. Very bright young lady. And I think she has a lot of promise for a great life and a great career ahead of her. Here's to you, Anna. Long life. May you have many, 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 many birthdays to come. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Anna. And we have another birthday coming up. This one is for our good friend Alex. Alex Ollinger. Now, Betsy is in here watching from time to time. I don't know if she's in here tonight. Sometimes Alex sneaks in and watches too, which is fine. Is welcome to have Alex. But Alex, this is your day. Well, actually, it'll be your day on Thursday, right? Your birthday is Wednesday. I'm sorry. Your birthday is going to be on May 20th, this coming Wednesday. But I wanted to make a point, because we don't do Drink with Rick on Wednesday. I want to make a point to go ahead and toast your birthday now. I don't have Alex's exact age at the top of my head, but Alex, also the Ollingers and we go way, way back as well. We've known them for many, many years as well. They're fine people. And Alex and Tommy, my son Tommy, have been great friends since early childhood. They've been, known each other since, second grade or whatever. So they go very far back. Alex has been attending CPC. Oh, not, excuse me, Alex. Got that on my head because I got another one coming up here. Appalachian State University, Alex, and he took us on a tour there. We've been up there a couple of times, and he's given us a grand tour both times. And Tommy has been accepted to go to Appalachian State as well, so he'll be joining him up there shortly this fall. Anyway, Alex, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And I'll toast you again as well, because, that's what birthdays are for. Toasting, right? Happy birthday, Alex, and may you also have many, many, many more. Alex is a very bright young man. And really a good guy. So I've really been impressed with him. He has a bright future ahead of him. Happy birthday, Alex. Now, I have a special congratulations going out to someone near and dear to my heart. My son Tommy, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, has been attending CPCC. Well, I didn't mention that. Well, yeah, I did, I guess. I don't know. I mentioned CPCC. I didn't mention the details. My son Tommy's been attending CPCC for the last 2 years, and he's worked very, very hard. He's put his nose to the grindstone, so to speak, and really hit the books. And he's done very, very well. He went there on a presidential scholarship, and we're really proud of him. And this past week, he graduated with his AA degree. And he's going to be moving on, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, to Appalachian State in the fall to go for his BA degree. And we're all very, very proud of him. And here's the thing, though. Because of this whole situation with us all being shut in, and this is where one of the pain points, as we mentioned before, as we were talking, Swazina Torn and I were talking about earlier, how there are some tough times. As we know, they are tough times, and because of that, a lot of the 2020 graduating class from high school and college, grade school, and all the schools where they'd normally be graduating, it's just it's all been in turmoil because the classes have had to be shut down, and they've had to move to online studies and online classes. And here we are coming up on graduation, and for these kids who've worked very hard for their graduation, they're in a situation where for the first time, they can't really have a proper graduation. Now, it's a little discerning. I mean, I had one. When I graduated high school, I had a big graduation going on, and my wife and my daughter Tia, when she graduated, we had big ceremonies, big celebrations, that sort of thing, and they were very, very uplifting events, and it was something to be proud of, because we hit each of us hit a milestone. We had a huge achievement, and that's what it is with the kids today. They've hit these milestones, these huge achievements. They've worked hard for so many years, and here's the payoff. Here's the payoff is graduation day, the big payoff. And for a lot of these kids, they're really not getting one this year, and it's been disconcerting to them and to the parents as well. We're right there too. Tommy is one of those kids who has been very, very disappointed about that as well. He's done his best. He's really done his best to keep an upper chin about it, but I know that he's been very disappointed with the way it works. And the thing is, it's not really anybody's fault. It's the circumstance. It just happened to hit at the wrong time. Everything that's going on, that's happening has just thrown everything out of whack. Just thrown everyone's lives out of whack, and it's been a really tough time for all these kids. So you can't blame them if some of them are depressed and upset and angry and disappointed and all that. I'm right there. I understand. And my son, he's disappointed, but he's trying to take it all in stride and in good humor. They're trying to do the best they can to sort of have a kind of a quasi graduation. And by the way, before I go any farther, Ed's in the chat, and Ed says hi, Rick, and I say hi, Ed, right back at you. It's great to see you there, Ed. Tell me how you're doing, and tell me what you're drinking or what you'd like to be drinking. And Ed, of course, and his wife do Selling Sarasota, and Shelley Panis are the hosts of Selling Sarasota. They live in Sarasota, and they do real estate, and they have a great podcast, which I listen to fairly regularly, by the way. Let you know, Ed. I haven't heard the last episode, but I've been listening to the episodes prior to that. I just, this week got so busy, I hadn't had a chance to catch up on them. I've gotten behind on all my podcast listening. But they do a fine podcast, and it's entertaining, it's enjoyable, educational, but it's great stuff. Selling Sarasota, you got to give that a listen. No matter where you live, it's kind of refreshing. Actually, I enjoy it. Here's to you, Ed, by the way. Snuck that one in to my good friend Ed, and Shelley too. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, this whole graduation thing has been kind of a mess, but a lot of schools are doing the best they can, trying to deal with this situation, trying to give the kids some semblance of normalcy as much as they can. Of course, that means everything's pretty much gone online. My son, in my son's case, no different. CPCC, Central Piedmont Community College, did this. That what they did was they sent him a cap, no gown. It's supposed to be a cap and gown thing, but they sent him a cap, no gown, and then they posted a video. They posted a graduation ceremonial video, and what they were all instructed to do was to watch the YouTube video, and at the moment that you're supposed to switch the tassel from the right to left or wherever it goes, then you're supposed to do your tassels, and then you're officially graduated, and they have a list of all the names of all the graduates and everything on the video. And I mean, it's not the same thing. Let's face it. It is not. They did the best they could. To give them credit, I think they did the best that they could under the circumstances. But obviously, it wasn't the same thing. But you know what? This is what we did. We put YouTube up on our big TV at home, and we all gathered around, all four of us. I think it was legal for four of us to congregate. We're all family. Okay, five of us, including the dog. So we all stood around, and then Tommy got into his his cap, and his. We didn't have a gown, so he did the next best thing. He did this. We just sort of rigged it up, and he put. I don't know if you noticed, but he put a. He has a sock there for a tie, and he has kind of a little blanket, a shawl for his gown, and he kind of tried to dress up a little bit, but he did wear the hat. And then we watched the whole video. I've got a couple of other shots of the commencement speeches and all that sort of thing, but I didn't post those up here. But I did post this, and his name, and of course when they told him to turn the tassel over, he moves the tassel. And he stands for this event. We all stood around with him. And then, let's see if I've got the other shot here. Oh, yeah, here we go. So, his name shows up. And there's his name there, Tomas A. Savoya. The asterisk there means that he made the Dean's List. He graduated on the Dean's List. And he did that fairly consistently throughout his career there, his education, his college career there. And so he is fully, he is graduated, and he has his AA degree. And we're all quite proud of Tommy. We're all quite proud of him. And here's to Tommy. I want to make a special toast to my son Tommy, who just graduated from college and got his 2-year degree. Here's to you, my son. I love you, and we're really, your mother and I, your sister, we're all really, really proud of you. Here's to you. Congratulations. And I'm going to toast again, just because he's my son, he's special, and he's worked really hard for it. Second toast to you, Tommy. Congratulations. We have some national days. We have some national days coming up here. So let's go into the national days. And if you have a glass, raise it along with me. If you don't, get one quick. And I don't care what you're drinking. I mean, as long as it's something that, as long as it's legal for you to drink it, and as long as it's something that that's not going to hurt you or anyone else. You got some scotch, you got a whiskey, you got wine, you got red or white. I don't care if it's red or white. A rosé. If you've got, sake, that's fine. Diet Coke, water, it's fine. It all works, right? It's a toast. A toast is a toast. And let's go ahead into the national days and toast. Well, let's see if I can get back there, and we'll toast the national days. Today is May 16th, 2020. And I think I've got to do something good for your neighbor day. I don't think I got all of them here. Some of them are missing. National Do Something Good for Your Neighbor Day. And we should. We all should be doing something good for our neighbors, especially those neighbors who might be in worse shape than we are. And look, we're all in various degrees of angst here, and whatever we're going through during this pandemic. Like I said, both my wife and I still have our jobs, but it's you just never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And we've had to tighten our belt too. We're having to watch our finance. We're having to watch everything very, very carefully. Some other people, they've lost their jobs, and some of them are getting some relief. They're still having to watch their budget. Some people have not received any relief. They have not received any relief, and they're really, really hurting. And a lot of small businesses that I've heard that will probably never reopen. Now, there's some that are still operating, and some that are, they're hanging on, and for in various ways. But there are many, many, many businesses that have closed their doors forever and will never be able to reopen, and that is just It's just a devastating thing. I don't know if everyone realizes just how devastating that is for small businesses, for a lot of these people who are really, really stuck. And when we get them out of this thing, hopefully we'll come out of it stronger for it, and hopefully we'll all be able to recover from this fairly quickly. But it's going to take, I think for some people, it's going to take a lot longer. So it's something I'm going to think about. So when if your neighbor is struggling a little bit, and maybe you're in a little better position, and I'm not being preachy here or not, but I'm just saying, do something good for your neighbor day. I think it's a good time to sit back and reflect. Okay, how's my neighbor doing? If we're okay, but my neighbor's not doing very well at all, what can I do to help my neighbor, to make things easier for my neighbor? And I'm not meaning to sound like Mr. Rogers here, but those are some good solid principles that he was teaching about looking out for your neighbor. And I think that's what we should all be doing, is looking out for our neighbors, right? So here's to National Do Something Good for Your Neighbor Day. It's also, I think today is also National Barbecue Day. It's kind of late for barbecue today, but you can do one tomorrow and say, hey, I'm celebrating post-National Barbecue Day, right? Love barbecue. Had some last week, as a matter of fact, for Mother's Day. It was a special occasion. We pooled our resources together and did a nice barbecue dinner for my wife for Mother's Day. Not something we're going to afford to do very often, but we managed to work that one in. National Love a Tree Day, and it's National Mimosa Day. You like mimosas? Here's the National Mimosa Day. It's also National Sea Monkey Day. Okay, let's stop for just a second. National Sea Monkey Day. Okay, this is all right. When you were a kid, who in the chat did not have sea monkeys when you were a kid? And if you did not have, and answer honestly, if you did not have sea monkeys when you were a kid, you tell me you never grew sea monkeys when you were a kid, and I'll send you a pair of our Drink with Rick coasters. I'll do that. I'll send them out to you free, okay? A really nice pair of Drink with Rick coasters. If you haven't seen these coasters before, these are really, really good quality coasters. They're designed to be absorbent. They're not designed to be thrown away. They're designed to be reusable, but they're really nice and absorbent Drink with Rick coasters, right? I'll send you a pair of those. If you can tell me, honestly, that you have never grown sea monkeys, okay? And when you were a kid, because I think just about every kid that I know of at some point in time got sucked into the sea monkey thing, right? Got sucked into growing sea monkeys. We did. When I was a kid, had to stop and get a pack of sea monkeys, or order a pack of sea monkeys. You can get them by mail order too, and some tourist traps sometimes, but mostly by mail order. Grow your own sea monkeys. Basically, Brian, I think it was Brian Shrimp or something. But you grow the sea monkeys. National Sea Monkey Day. I have some fond memories of that, just because it was sort of a family thing you could do. Just fun thing you could do when you were a kid. National Sea Monkey Day. Tell me, did anybody here did not grow sea monkeys? Let's see. Jero6349 says hi. How you doing, Jero? 6349. Good to see you in the chat. Tell me what you're drinking, or what you're not drinking, or would you like to be drinking, or would you like to see me drinking? Shotgun Chicken says, Shotgun Chicken's joined us in the chat also on Twitch. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining me on Drink with Rick. Shotgun Chicken says, I didn't LOL. I remember holding the package in the store wanting some sea monkeys. I honestly don't know that I've ever seen an actually living sea monkey. Oh, you know what? So you didn't buy one. I'll tell you what. I'll send you a pair of these out here. Yeah, I'll tell you, email me your or maybe I can contact you later here, but through chat. But email me a PO box or something where a shipping address where I can send you a pair of these, and I'll send a pair out to you. You've won a pair of the Drink with Rick coasters, and you remember holding the package in the store. It's not the same thing as buying them and growing them, I'll tell you that. And the package was really, really fun, right? They have pictures of these mom and dad sea monkeys and stuff like that. And they had these weird heads and stuff like that. They kind of looked, it was kind of weird, right? The pictures were a little, I think in some ways the drawings of these things that they had on the packages were just a little creepy in my opinion, but that's just me. Anyway, they looked like fun. You would take them home. I'll tell you what, Shotgun Chicken, if you don't know that you've ever actually seen a living sea monkey, you're not missing too much, to be honest. I'll just say that right there. Am I lying? Anybody else grew the sea monkeys? Anyone else who had the sea monkeys? Isn't that the truth? You're not really missing much. Now, they have, this is interesting, in the package, they have these instructions where you're growing the sea monkeys, basically like brine shrimp, little tiny, they're really tiny things. And you have to have a magnifying glass to really look at them up close. It's kind of fun to watch for like an hour or two until you get bored with them and then dump them down the toilet. But not that I did that, mind you, okay? I did not show any cruelty to animals. No sea monkeys were harmed in the making of this video, okay? I'm just saying. But you can, supposedly they had tricks. You can make them do tricks. And some of these involved taking a flashlight because they follow the light around and stuff like that, or perceived to follow the light around. And there were other little tricks you can supposedly make them do to entertain yourselves. Personally, I think sea monkeys were more of a gimmick than anything else. Just like somebody said, hey, what are we going to do with all this stuff that we, we'll market them as sea monkeys and so on. They were living creatures. They really were living creatures. It just, it's... yeah, I think it was more gimmicky than anything else. But it was fun. To a little kid, it's like, ooh, sea monkeys. And then you look at them for a couple of minutes and, try to get them to do a couple of tricks. And then when they just kind of ignore your flashlight or whatever, you go like, oh, the heck with this. And then you walk off and 2 days later come back and they're all dead. And then you dump them out the sink. Am I right here? That's how it was in our house. Anyway, yeah, National Sea Monkey Day. I really got off on a tangent on that one. It brings back some memories, though. It does. It brings back some memories. Let's see, what other days we have here in May? It's National Biographers Day. National Coquille Saint-Jacques Day. Oh, no, Coquille Saint-Jacques Day. I'm not French, and I don't know how to pronounce that. National Armed Forces Day. That's the third Saturday in May. Here's the Armed Forces to help keep us protected on our from shore to shore, from sea to shining sea. National Learn to Swim Day. Man, this is going to be a long show if I get into that. National Learn to Swim Day. That's the third Saturday in May. Any swimmers out there? Any swimmers? I never learned to swim properly. I think I relayed this story once on an early wine stream sometime last year. Way back, probably about this time last year, as a matter of fact. And they kind of just threw me in the water, and they tried to teach me to swim, but I was never very good because that was about the time I was getting really nearsighted, and I couldn't really see anything with my glasses on. And when I was in the water, I was just terrified of it because I'd had near drowning experiences when I was really young, and my mom thought it was a good idea to take me to the YMCA and take a swim class to learn how to swim. And they basically were one of those throw you in there and sink or swim kind of instructors. So that really didn't do anything to endear me to swimming anymore, because that's basically what they did. And they tried to get me to learn to swim. And you know what? My cousin Barbara, who's been in in the chat before. My cousin Barbara, she tried to teach me, give me some swimming lessons when I got a little bit older, and I tried, but I was still kind of terrified of it. And the whole time she's in there trying to show me this and that and how to teach me how to swim for myself. The only thing I'm thinking about is how fast I can get out of there, out of the pool, and go do something else, like hide behind a chair or something so nobody could send me back out into the pool again. When I was a little kid, but no, it wasn't that bad. But it was just it was not fun learning to swim. The thing is that I was kind of further traumatized when the graduation ceremony for the swim class was that you had to go up on the high dive and dive off the diving board. And now I already had a fear of the water, but to make matters worse, I also had a fear of heights. So, and they didn't just send you up on the little diving board, the one that was close to the water. No, they made you climb up the high dive. And so I had to climb up the high dive, being as scared of heights as I was. And I'd have to get up there and jump down. Of course, there would be the person down there, way, way down there. It kind of looked like an ant or looked like a sea monkey. Down to the bottom of the water, the surface of the water saying, "Hey, come on, I'll catch you. It'll be okay. It'll be fine. Just dive off and be done." Well, I did. It took me a while to dive off. I think I more or less slipped off more than dived off. I was terrified. I was terrified. And there was nothing to hold on to, So I'm way up there on the high dive, a little kid, and I'm really, really terrified of heights to begin with. And here I am just on this little plank, and I'm on the edge of it, and whoa, next thing I know, and I think that's another reason why I never was cured of my fear of heights. And I went down there, and yes, I did go down in the water, did not come up right away. They had to pull me up, and it was traumatic. I was traumatized. I did not swim. I kind of sank, and they had to go grab me and pull me out. That's why I never really liked swimming after that. It was just the double dose of the fear of heights coupled with the fear of water, because when I was also a toddler, I had a near drowning experience. So that kind of sort of made me a little bit not so eager to jump into the water. I'll go wading, whatever. I'll go fishing. If we go out fishing on the coast or something, I'll go wading in the water. And as long as I can feel the sand under my feet, and as long as I'm not too high up where I feel like I can walk out of it, I'm okay. Anything other than that, I'm not a big fan of the water, to be honest. But that's a little TMI for me. Anyway, national. Where were we here? It was National something or other day, was it? I got off on a tangent. National Learn to Swim Day. I'll drink to that. Because I've always wanted to learn how to swim, but not enough to want to really get in there and learn how to swim. Let's see. Tomorrow, May 17th, is National Pack Rat Day. Are you a pack rat? My wife says I'm a pack rat. I do have a lot of stuff here, but I wouldn't call myself a pack rat. Here's the thing about being a pack rat. I'm not a hoarder, although my wife would call me one. But here's the thing. I've given away so much stuff in the past. I would collect stuff because I think, well, one day I can use it for this, or one day this would be perfect for that. Someday I just might need this thing, so I better hold on to it. Guess what? I learned the hard way. When we moved up from Florida to North Carolina, we had a lot of that kind of stuff, and I said, okay, I guess I'm just have to throw it out or give it away or whatever. Guess what happened when we got up here? One day I needed this, or one day I needed that. Went looking for it, and I thought, oh, wait a minute, I threw that away. I don't have it anymore. That happened with a few vintage items that I kind of was saving. That I actually threw out on my own. And then later on, years later, I come to find out, you know what, I kind of really needed that. Or actually, I would find out that, whoa, this was actually worth some money now. It was worthless then, but 20 years later, it's actually worth some money. And I don't have it anymore. So There you go. Uh, so are pack rats, I don't know, hoarders? I mean, hoarders maybe they say that's a condition, that's an illness. I don't know. Um, I'm not a hoarder per se, but I do like to keep some stuff around for a while just in case I need it. Here's the National Pack Rat Day. National Cherry Cobbler Day. I love cherry cobbler. I will drink to that. National National Graduation Tassel Day. I mean, the reason I'm laughing is because funny story about my son Tommy on his graduation that I just was talking about. The graduation that I was showing you a few minutes ago, wherever it is now. Oh, nope, that's not it. It's, where is it? Oh, here it is. So he gets in this get up and he has it. Notice the tassel's on the left side. The tassel was supposed to start off on his right side and then he moved it to the left, but we kind of forgot about all that. So when he started off, it just naturally went to the left. And so when during the commencement exercise, when they were saying, okay, now everyone move your tassels to the left, you look up and say, oh yeah, it's already there. See, he was way ahead of the curve. That's what it was. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just way ahead of the curve. He had everybody beat. So, National Graduation Tassel Day. I don't remember what happened with ours. I think I just remember throwing my hat up in the air, and then after that, everybody went off looking for their hats. National Walnut Day. My wife loves walnuts. I like walnuts too, fresh out of the shell, but I really don't like them any other way. I don't like them on desserts and things like that. I don't like walnuts on my ice cream or anything like that. I just like them out of the shell, and I'll eat a few when I'm done. Some people love them. Here's a National Walnut Day. Why not? Here is National Idaho Day. National Idaho Day is tomorrow on Sunday. Idaho is one of our 50 states in the Union. Here's the National Idaho Day. I love potatoes, by the way. Pardon the cliche, Idaho potatoes, but I do love potatoes, particularly baked potatoes. Take your parents to the playground day. Third Sunday in May is Take Your Parents to the Playground Day. I'll drink to that, whatever. My kids used to do that for us, take us to the playground so they could play, of course. And we could just stand there and watch them, or talk to one another, or just be bored, or try to get in a little nap in the sun on a bench, whatever. Take your parents to the playground day. I'll drink to that. All right, I think I'll do it for the national days this week. I want to check in with the chat one more time, see how everyone's doing. Ed and Chi and Jim and let's see, who else is in here? Oh yeah, you know what? I'm supposed to be scrolling down, and this thing isn't scrolling. Normally it scrolls, but it's not scrolling on this new version of this Facebook thing. So I apologize for that, Ed. Ed says cheers. And cheers right back at you, Ed. Ed says, nice. Way to go, Tommy. Cheers. And what was that? Slante? I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry. I butcher the English language half the time. Sometimes it just wakes my nerds up for no apparent reason. Anyway, thank you, Ed. And Tommy thinks so, I'm sure. Anyway, that does it for the national days. And let's see, anything else going on in the chat and Twitch? Shotgun Chicken says, I don't understand the fascination as a kid to want living animals, always getting fish, lizards, or hermit crabs, pets that really don't provide any affection or anything really, just a chore. We've had a lot of animals. There's some people that really have an affinity for animals, some that don't. There's nothing wrong with that. But getting fish is kind of an animal, isn't it? A fish is a living, breathing creature, so I guess you could say it's an animal. It's not a mammal animal, but it's an animal. Fish, lizards, or hermit crabs. Nothing wrong with lizards. I know a lot of people have lizards. I have a friend of mine who they had a gecko for many years. I don't know if they still have it, but they really, really love that gecko. Hermit crabs, those are always fun to watch. Pets that really don't provide any affection or anything, really just a chore. Yeah, but you know what though? If it provides some relaxation for you, if you get pleasure out of just watching them go around, and some people do. I mean, it's sometimes some of those kind of animals are just fascinating to watch, like fish. My daughter Tia has a fish tank set up. She hasn't filled it yet, put fish in it, and we've had fish before. But the kids would get hours of pleasure just watching the fish go around and move around. Now, granted, one time we got some fish, and we got one of those little crabs, and made the mistake of mixing up the crab with the fish, and the fish didn't last long after that. Learned that the hard way. Yeah, well, what a way to learn about for your kid to learn about life, right? Shotgun Chicken says, never been a fan of heights or the high dive either. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. V Colorblind. Oh, V Colorblind's in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the chat tonight. Says, I just bought some black box wine and it was amazing. You know, I have seen that for sale around, the black box wine. I've seen that for sale around. I've heard about it, and I've actually heard it's actually pretty good. I have not tried it myself. So it's pretty good, huh? You know, I might just, I tell you what, I'm gonna, maybe we'll do a review on that. It might be worth, let me put that down, black box one. Let me put that down, and it might be worth reviewing here as soon as we get out of our sequestering here, and can afford to invest a little bit more in wine. We'll try that out. I'll give that a try, and I'll put it on my list of wines to review in the future. But you liked it, right? You liked it. It was you said it was amazing. It was good wine. I have heard some positive things about that. So we'll try it out. We'll try it out. Let's see, what else have I got here? Oh, yeah, I just wrote on my, oh, no, I didn't. Here they are. Let's see. I do want to make a mention real quick of the weather radios and stuff, and while we're all sequestered here, I wrote a series of articles on my day job, the company I work for, by two-way radios, and I wrote a series of articles about how two-way radios are used in, for social distancing, and also by both personal, in the home, and also by businesses for social distancing and curbside service and all that kind of stuff. And the weather radios, we've just been really selling a lot of weather radios through this whole pandemic, because it did come to my attention. I didn't really think about this before I started writing about it. I was saying, why were we selling so many of these weather radios? And it came to my attention that, well, that's because the weather radios, the weather alerts that are broadcast out from the NOAA Weather Service also include the National Emergency Alert System, and that includes it, and that's part of it, of the NOAA weather alerts. So it's not just weather alerts that you're getting on the radio, you're also getting other emergencies like tornadoes, hurricanes, amber alerts, silver alerts. So silver alerts are like the amber alerts, but they're for the elderly. And also pandemic alerts. Apparently, pandemic alerts are officially on the list. If you go to ready.gov, that's the government website there, ready.gov, they have a whole list of alerts that are covered under the NEA, the National Emergency Alert System. The EAS, the Emergency Alert System, EAS. Hawaii's kicking in. And the NOAA Weather Service, or the NWS. And pandemic alerts are one of it, and a lot of people have been buying weather radios because it is that time of year. We're approaching, we're going to be getting into hurricane season very soon. As a matter of fact, I was watching weather reports the other day, and there was a typhoon, actually, a typhoon that was just off the coast of Japan, or no, the Philippines, I think. There was a typhoon that was off the coast of Philippines the other day, but there is a weather disturbance, a tropical disturbance off near I think it's near the Bahamas right now, and it's in the Atlantic. And so people are watching that very carefully because hurricane season doesn't officially start till June 1st, but we're here in the middle of May, and it looks like things are starting to churn up early out there in the Atlantic and maybe in the Gulf. So a lot of people are really investing in these weather radios because, look, we've already got this pandemic. That's all we don't need a hurricane too. We don't need all this other stuff. But it's good to have, and everybody should have a weather radio. We have a number of weather radios. I have one right here. This one right here, this base station radio. That's one of the ones that we have, and it's also a GMRS two-way radio. And it has a lot of bells and whistles on it. Literally, it has some pretty much bells and whistles on it. And these radios, of course, will give you a pandemic alert as well. Who knew? Well, I know now, and I wrote an article on it, Buy Two-Way Radios. Now, for full disclosure, I work for Buy Two-Way Radios, this company I work for, and we sell two-way radios all times, including weather radios. And I am a licensed amateur radio operator, a licensed ham, and I also am a licensed GMRS radio operator. So I have a couple of radio licenses. My background's in broadcasting, so I guess that's not too big of a surprise. But what we do here is for the weather radios and whatnot, my boss has authorized me to give you, as a viewer and a listener of Drink with Rick, a 5% discount if you want to get a weather radio, or if you're into any other kind of radios, GMRS radios, for instance, like this, or you're a hunter or whatever, or you like to go outdoors and you like two-way radios, you can get 5% off your order at buytwowayradios.com if you enter the promo code WINESHOW. That's WINESHOW. WINESHOW, Wine Show. You'll get 5% off your order. So that's just something. I don't get anything out of that. I just get to keep my job. Okay, that's about it. I'm not getting anything extra out of that for mentioning it. It's just something that I'm offering to you because I happen to work for Buy Two-Way Radios, and you as a listener and a viewer of Drink with Rick. So you can save some money too, especially during these times, right? I do have, I also want to mention our Start Ugly giveaway. Start Ugly is a book by Chris Kremitzos. I have it back here. And I've been doing a giveaway. I've been running a giveaway promotion the last couple of months. I'm not getting anything for this either, okay? I don't make anything off this show right now. It'd be great if I did, and if you're a winery or whatever, or wine shop or something, and or whatever, and you're interested in advertising on Drink with Rick, hey, I'll do that. But look, I don't make anything off this. This is just something that I do on Saturday nights for fun. I'm not here to sell you all kinds of stuff, okay? That's not what I'm here to do. We're just here to kick back and relax and drink wine and just talk about stuff and just get in the chat and just have a good time. That's all. I save my other podcasts for all the selling and stuff. But I did want to say that Start Ugly, which is a great book by Chris Kremitzos, is something that I'm doing a giveaway for, and Chris has given me a free copy to give away to my listeners and my viewers, and I wanted to give it away. So here's what I want to do. Let me find this. What did I do with it? Let's see. I had it up here just a minute ago. I've got so much stuff up here. Anyway, Start Ugly, I'm offering a promotion right now with Start Ugly. And if I can find, here it is. What I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to email me at rick@savoyamedia.com. And this is real easy, folks. It's real easy. All you have to do is just tell me. It can be one sentence. No essays, okay? No essays. I don't have time to read them anyway. But if you just go in and say, look, What idea, project, or dream do you have but have put off starting or completing for one reason or another? In other words, we've all had those, right? We've all had those ideas or dreams or whatever, like the show, like what I'm doing now, Drink with Rick. I was thinking at first, I'm going to start streaming something like this. I've got to have everything perfect. Everything has to be perfect. I have to do, look, you see my production values. They're better than they were before, but if you go back and look at the first few episodes, especially episode 3, please don't look at episode 3. It's pretty bad. Or you can if you want to, but you're not going to be able to sit through a couple of minutes of it. Trust me. I couldn't. And I had to edit the thing. So if you go back and look at some of this, you'll see how I started. I did start ugly. I just, look, if you have an idea or a dream like I did, and if I had really wanted to start this off right, I never would have started it. I still wouldn't be doing it. Because I'd be thinking, okay, everything has to be perfect. I have to have all my ducks in a row. All these stars have to align perfectly. I have to have everything just right. I have to have the computer that I need and everything else that I need in order for me to put it out. Just splash it out there and make a big splash, and everybody knows, oh, wow, what a professional he is, okay? And I've been podcasting for 14 years now. But if I'd done that, I still wouldn't be doing this. It'd be 2 years later. We're a year and a half into this, and I still wouldn't have started. And that's because Start Ugly, I read this book, and it gave me some motivation. I said, you know what? I got to just do it. It doesn't matter. If it stinks, whatever, I just have to do it. I got to put it out there and then refine it as I go along. And that's what this book teaches you in a very simple story format. Chris is a good friend of mine. He put this book together, and I think he did a phenomenal job with it. Anyway, I have a free copy to give out. Somebody's going to win a free copy of this book. All you have to do is just send me an email saying what idea, project, or dream do you have but have put off starting or completing for one reason or another. It can be just a simple, just give me a one-liner. Just say, hey, I was going to start a skydiving business or something, or I was going to travel the world or something, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But I'm putting it off because everything had to be just right. This book is telling you you don't have to. Just go ahead and start doing it, and then refine it as you go along. And it's a great book. It's a good coffee table kind of motivational book. And it costs $19.95, but I'm giving this away for free if you just send in the little one-liner, rick@savoymedia.com, and send it to me, and I'll pull a winner here at the end of the month. I'll pull a winner. If we get enough entries, we don't get any entries. But you know what? The chances of winning, the odds of winning, depend on the number of entries received. So you never know. If I don't receive that many entries, you might just, by sending yours in, might just automatically win. So that's something to think about too. So send it to me, rick@savoymedia.com. All right, well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up for tonight. Before we go, there is one more thing that I want to do. I want to play this PSA for you, and I'm going to play it now.
COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. There are a few ways to help lower the spread of this respiratory disease. Wash your hands. Avoid touching your face, including mouth, nose, and eyes. Cover your coughs and sneezes. Monitor your symptoms and consult with your doctor. Stay at home and away from other sick people except for medical care. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
So, that's the COVID-19 PSA. I've got like 4 of these that I've been cycling through and been doing as a public service for everyone, because I do care about you. I want us all to come out of this intact, and let's be done with this pandemic. So whatever we can do to make this thing pass more quickly and be done with it, I think is just going to be beneficial for everyone. We have been seeing. I've been seeing reports in the news about people that go in without any proper protection, and I just want to make a brief note of this. Without any proper protection, there was one guy that I saw that they were interviewing him on our local news channel, And he didn't have a mask, or he didn't have any gloves. He didn't have anything. And he was just going to go into, I don't know what it was, Walmart or somewhere. And they were saying, well, aren't you concerned about getting this virus? Oh, I'm not concerned about it at all. I'm not concerned about it. It doesn't bother me. I'm fine. And a lot of people have that attitude. And that's, that's fine for them. That's their choice if they're not really concerned about it to go in there. But the thing is that a lot of that protection really isn't for you, the person going in there. A lot of that protection is for you, the person, the other person who is in there, the person who is in there that is nearby, the person coming in without any protection. That's really who that's for. Primarily because, look, if you're going in there without any protection, you may feel fine. As we all know, you may feel fine, but you might be infected and you don't know it. And you might be spreading the infection around to others. And if you're going in there without any protection at all, you're risking that spreading that infection down to other people, which actually, in my opinion, and I'm going to say this, in my opinion, it's selfish. It's selfish. I mean, if somebody who's thinking like, I'm not going to wear protection because I'm not worried about getting it, I'm immune, I'm okay. First of all, you don't know that, okay? You don't know that. That's the simple truth. The second thing is that you're thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about the other people in there who are wearing the protection, and you could be going in there completely unprotected and spreading it around to everyone everyone else in there. So I would say that if you go out, wear the protection. Just follow the guidelines. I understand. Now, I understand. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I understand the thoughts on this. Both sides. I understand both sides of these issues. I've listened to both sides. I get it. I really do. Both make compelling arguments. Both sides make compelling arguments. I'm not picking a side here. What I am doing is I'm saying be considerate of other people, is what I am saying. I'm saying if you want to go out, go out. If that's your thing, if that's what you want to do. Now, if you're in a lockdown situation and you're going to break the law, I'm saying don't break the law, okay? Don't break the law. It's never good to break the law. Whatever the laws are, just obey the law. Just abide by the law, okay? But if you're allowed to go out with restrictions, go out with restrictions. But the thing is, don't just go out and say, hey, I don't care. Care about the other person. Care about the person around you. Even if you don't care about yourself, care about the other person. That's what this is about, and that goes back to the Help Your Neighbor Day. Care about your neighbor. Care about your neighbor. We're all in this together, right? If we're all in this together, then we're all in this together. We kind of have to look after each other, not just ourselves, but we have to look after one another. And that's my rant for tonight. That's my rant. And I like my rants, right? So I'm not, and we don't get political here, okay, on this show, and I'm not into politics. I'm not taking a political side on this. Let me be absolutely clear on this. I am not taking a political side on any of this. What I am saying is when you go out there, use some common, because we do have something going on. We have a serious situation going on, and let's just go out there and use some common sense. That's all I'm saying. Just use some common sense and be considerate of others. That's all I'm saying. Okay? That's, okay, now I'm done with my rant. Anyway, I want to thank you all for being with me here tonight. I think that'll do it for tonight. Just to recap, we're drinking the Salmon Creek. This is Salmon Creek Cabernet Sauvignon, 2016 California, from Sonoma, California. 12.5% alcohol by volume, and it's not too bad. I was joking around earlier about the wine, but it's actually I'm fine. It's not that the alcohol content is not really that high in this wine, and really 12.5% should be the threshold where the wine should be. To be honest, that's really where it should be. In organic wines, especially, that's usually a big selling point for organic wines, the lower alcohol content. This wine goes pretty well. This wine goes pretty well with the burger, as expected. It's a cab. It'll go pretty good well with any meat. I think it would be okay with some grilled vegetables too. It goes well with the. It goes okay with the pizza. It's okay with the ziti. I thought it really went well with the Trader Joe's creamy Gouda, as I expected, and it does. It's okay with well, this was a. I think it'll be fine with the cheddar. This was a cheddar slash Gruyere mix, and I'm not jury's still out on that one, but it's okay. But overall, it's a good wine. It's very smooth, kind of velvety. Black cherry. I smelled some black cherry in the very beginning, and a little plum. But when I got into it, it really tasted more like just cherry, and maybe some blackberry in there too. And it was a little oaky, not much, but very, very smooth. It's a very, very smooth wine, kind of velvety, and I think is it 2016, so it's I think it's fairly well matured in this bottle. So I think this is a good time to be drinking this wine. Kind of a light finish. But overall, it's a pretty decent wine for $5.95, which is what I paid for it at winestore-online.com. And by the way, that's not another pitch because they're not paying me to say that. I'm just saying that's where I like to go shop. It's actually, and it's a good place to be. I like the people there; they're really good people. And this was actually a pretty decent. I think it's a pretty decent cab. So as far as Salmon Creek is concerned, we tried the Pinot Noir a few weeks back. We tried the cab. 2 for 2. I think it's pretty good. I think we have another winner on our hands. Before we go, anything else going on the chat? Any final thoughts in the chat that we'd like to know about? I'd like to thank. Let's see. Let me check Twitch first. There's been more. You know that the Twitch people have been beating you guys on Facebook here tonight on the chat. The Colorblind says, I've been reading How to Live a Humble Life by Richard Simmons III. And he says, I would love a copy of your book. Well, The Colorblind, I would love to send you a copy of the book. And like I said, send me just a little one. It can be just a few words. Just say, hey, I've always wanted to skydive. I've never done it. Always want to do it. That's fine. Always don't use that one because that was just an example. Unless you really wanted to skydive, but send me something that you've always wanted to do, but just been afraid to do it because it's just held you back for one reason or another. And like I said, I'll put you in for the end of the month, and we'll see if you can win that book. And you just might. In the meantime, let's see. Who do I have that? Swazi Torn. I think you have. Who is it that won these things, the coasters, a pair of coasters, and it was Shotgun Chicken. That's what it was. Who it was? Shotgun Chicken. Send me a shipping address that I can just send this to. It doesn't matter. It can be a temporary one, and I'm not gonna do anything with your personal information. Okay, that's not how we roll here. Not going to do anything with that. Just send me an address where I can ship this to you so I can get it out to you, and we'll do that. I'll do that right away. Anyway, once again, I want to thank everyone for joining me in the chat tonight. I want to thank Swazina Torn and Jeru6349 and Shotgun Chicken and V Colorblind for joining me in the chat. I want to thank, let's see, who was here in Facebook tonight? It was... let's see. I want to thank, of course, my good friend Ed and Jim and Chi for joining us in there in the chat. Anyone else who happen to join us, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate each and every one of you. And when you show up to interact with me in the chat, I really, really enjoy that. And I know that you're taking time out of your evening to spend some time here with me. We're spending some time together, and that's something that is an honor to me. It's an honor. I am honored to have your presence here because I know that your time is valuable, Probably more valuable than mine at this point. So thank you. Thank you very, very much for being a part of this. And of course, once again, you can, if you want to listen to the show later, you can subscribe to the podcast, which goes out on Monday nights at 10 p.m. at drinkwithrick.com. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Stitcher Radio, your smart speaker, anywhere where you can find a podcast, you're going to find Drink with Rick. So, once again, thank you for being here. Please join me again here next week. Next week, I think we're going to do we had another one. Where was that? It was the Rockbrook. We did a Rockbrook that was cab. They also have a Rockbrook that is, I think, a Pinot. So we're going to try that. And we're going to see if that's as good as the cab was. Because the cab was actually pretty decent. So we're going to try that out next week. Until then, I want to ask everyone, please stay safe. Have a great week. Have a safe week. Don't drink and drive. Please don't drink and drive. As if any of us are going anywhere anyway. Don't text and drive, of course. Because I want you to have a safe week. And I want you to have a great week. I want you to join me here next week on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. And we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.